So joining me now is a very, very special guest. It is Chris Rorland from the Swedish metal band Sabaton. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. This is a very exciting moment for me because I love Sabaton and I love history. So when I heard about a band that did metal music about famous historical battles, I thought that's heaven for me. So you've been with Sabaton since 2014.
12, actually.
Oh, 2012. So can you just tell us the journey of Sabaton for you so far?
So far, it's been a roller coaster of fun, I would say. It's been amazing, you know, since I came into this band. It's such a huge, company, and it's so well planned. Everything is so directed. We have plans, you know, like when I joined the band in 2012, I knew which album we were going to release in 2015, 16, you know. So everything is just mapped up. So we know exactly what we're going to do. And it's so easy, you know. We don't have to overthink or anything. It's just, check the schedule, perfect. And it's been amazing, you know, to being on tour with this band. And I love it so much. I'm still here 10 years into the band. Yeah.
So some people might not realize, but you were a military man as well.
Yeah.
So just tell us about your military career.
So it's mandatory when I did it. Some people had to do it and some people didn't have to do it, of course. And for me, I felt like it's a good thing to do because you learn a lot and you grow as a person if you do it. Absolutely. Especially in Sweden. And it's 1 year mandatory. And I was a truck driver. I drove a lot of, you know, explosives, ammunitions, food, everything in the trucks, in the trailers. So, and then we have the regular, you know, shooting practice and going into the forest, staying there for eight days without no food or anything.
Wow.
Sleeping outside in the snow. So yeah, it was tough sometimes, but it was good sometimes as well. So yeah.
So coming into Sabaton, you could even just write a song about your military career and it would work.
Sorry, what?
So then you joined Sabaton and you could just write basically a Sabaton song about your military career.
Yeah. No, that would be weird to do, but if we did a fun song, absolutely we could do that. But I think we concentrate more on the historical events and not the things that going on right now and stuff like that.
So that does bring us on to the music of Sabaton. So I'm guessing your first album then was Heroes.
Yeah.
So Heroes is basically about like as titles Heroes of War. So you would like to focus on a certain man,
specific
woman.
Persons. Yeah.
Then the album I first heard was The Last Stand.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of really pushed Sabaton to where you are now, with songs like The Last Stand, Blood at Bannockburn, Lost Battalion, and then The Great War, the concept album of the First World War. So just tell us about that album first, The Great War.
Which one?
The Great War.
The Great War.
Yes.
How it was to record? Or?
Yeah, and how sort of picking those topics of the Great War for that album.
Okay, yeah. It was cutting out, so I was like, oh. But I mean, they told us that it was supposed to be about the First World War, and in school I got to learn a little bit more about the Second World War because my teacher, her mother was in the concentration camps, so I paid very much respect for that. Yeah, so they taught us a lot about the Second World War. We barely touched the First World War. I'm very foggy about that. So when we started to talk about doing the Great War, I was like, okay, I know nothing, you know, please tell me everything, you know. And it's just amazing what fans sense in, you know, what happened, and revisiting these places, you know, and it really gives you a different perspective of life, you know, to visit all these places. It's just amazing, you know, and what people have done. It's horrible that war is happening. Don't get me wrong. It's just fucking awful. I hate it.
Yeah.
But what people have sacrificed for the greater good, you know, and the topics that they chose for the Great War is just, it's amazing, you know. And for me to put my music on that is just fantastic, you know. And I'm very, very happy that it turned out as it did, you know. Good.
Yeah, because I actually have visited the site of one of the biggest battles, the Third Battle of Ypres, more commonly known as Passiondale. And seeing that many sort of tombstones, like you said, just brings everything to a new light. And like the title track of that album, The Great War, is about Passiondale. So this new album, The War to End All Wars, it's like the continuation, I'm guessing, of...
Yeah, exactly. The continuation of the stories, yeah.
So just tell us, so there's a couple of tracks on that album which I'm really looking forward to hearing, and they are Dreadnought. Can you give us anything about Dreadnought?
Sorry?
What's the story of Dreadnought? Is that, I'm guessing, a naval battle?
It's a battleship, yeah. The battleship, it's about the battleship Dreadnought, yes. Then I'm very foggy about what, you know, with events and stuff like that, but it's about a big, you know, naval ship Dreadnought called Dreadnought, yeah.
And also the final track on the album, which I think is very, very smartly done, Versailles, as you know, the Treaty of Versailles marks the official end of the war. So I like that it's going to be the final track on the album as well. What does that song sort of sound like? Is it like a slow track, or is it a heavy track?
It will. I can say. Have you heard the first song, Sarajevo?
Yes.
Yes, that's it. It's very fast and, you know, very dark and everything like that. Versailles is the total opposite. So you have the minor version and the major version, because it's the start of the war and then you have the end of the war, and it should be happy. But there's a twist at the end on Versailles as well.
Oh.
So.
And so you are currently in the UK, and tomorrow you're visiting a British museum which you actually saved from permanent closure. And you are allowed to shoot a ordnance quick firing 25 pounder. Who has the honour of firing it out the band?
I will get the honor, weirdly enough, because Per, he called me up and he's like, hey man, you did military service, right? Yeah, I did military service. Okay. There's a thing you might have to sign. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, we're going to England and you're gonna fire a huge gun, and you're the first foreign military veteran to be able to fire it. I was like, okay, please choose somebody else. It's like, it's not possible, because you're the only one who did military service in Sweden, so you're the only one capable of doing this. And I I got super scared. I was like, oh shit, that's a huge honor. Don't get me wrong there. It's a huge honor. I'm very happy to do this tomorrow, but I'm really scared, you know. But hopefully they have good ear protectors, and they would show me how to do it. So yeah, but it's a huge honor. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think.
So the museum is the Hugh Battery Museum, and so just tell us how Sabaton managed to save it.
Oh, I don't know actually. That's Paris, to be honest.
I guess
very. Yeah, there's so many things happening around. I get to know things from here and there, and that's mostly Paris thing to do. Absolutely.
So the live shows of Sabaton are well known for the pyrotechnics, so to say. Does it get hot being near those pyrotechnics on stage?
Extremely hot, yes. I mean, if you're standing in the audience, it gets very hot, but I mean, we're standing even closer to them, so it sometimes gets extremely hot, and sometimes we're at the wrong place at the wrong. And I mean, Joachim burned all these arm hairs and everything because he's like, and fire came up. It's like, take a look on James Hetfield back in the day with Metallica. He got really burns, and they're a lot safer now because it's a different liquid on stage, so you can't really burn yourself that good. But if you have hair,
which most of Sabaton do,
yeah. But we try to shoot as much as possible. We have safety briefings and stuff like that. So things, and we have a guy on a dead, what do you call it?
A dead switch.
A dead switch. Yeah, thank you. So and he's always keeping an eye. Yeah.
And I must ask, the drum stand, the tank.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not an actual tank, is it?
No. That I mean, we couldn't fit it on stage. I think a huge proper tank, or I don't think stage would bear it. It would just go through the floor. So it's just a model, with a skeleton with some plates on it, and so it actually looks like a real tank. But we can't drive it, so not yet.
Not yet, but you can fire pyrotechnics out of it, so that's a start.
But the next thing is for Hannes to drive it, I think.
So which of the new songs are you looking forward to performing live?
I mean, all of them, absolutely, all of them would be fantastic, and one of them would be Christmas Truce. That would be a fantastic song to play live because you do so much, visual with that song. And Unkillable Soldier. And Stormtroopers will be fun to play because it's such a fast song. And Dreadnought. I would say Dreadnought because I love that guitar riff. I didn't write it. Joachim wrote that riff. And it's just that the pure, it's something different, it's totally something different. And I love Joachim's vocals on that one. He really goes into, like that. So it's something unique. So, yeah.
And finally, you did have to reschedule the UK shows. Is there any rough rescheduled dates for the UK shows?
There will be rescheduled. I don't have any dates yet, but the whole tour is being postponed because there's still COVID in different countries, so we can't just do a few shows. Then there's so much, with trucks and people being involved. We have to do the whole tour, or else it will be just disaster. So it's being rescheduled until next year, I think, but hopefully next year it will be possible to do everything.
So, Chris, thanks for taking the time out to have a chat with me. It's been a huge honour. Like I said, Sabaton are one of my favourite bands. So doing this, it's a bucket list moment.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, man. Appreciate that. Hope to see you at a show soon.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, cheers, Chris.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Stay safe.